Hey, this is Sasha and welcome to another video. Today we're going to take a look at Fiverr and I'm going to share with you my thoughts and takes on making money with Fiverr. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're trying to make some money on the side, if you're trying to get some clients with Fiverr, is it the right fit? Or if you're even trying to freelance on the side to get a few more gigs, is Fiverr the right approach? So let's take a look here. I'm going to show you what Fiverr is. It's basically a sales website that people go out, or business people like myself might go out and say, hey, I'm interested in logo design, but I don't want to pay full price. So what happens here is oftentimes other designers will go ahead and post their services. I will design a business logo for you, and it might be $25, $80. It used to be for $5. The starting opening thing was $5. That's how they got the name with Fiverr. But now there's much more expensive gigs, especially if you're a higher rated seller. So when you do it this way, it's very quick, it's very transactional, and in a way, there's no relationship. Think about it like speed dating. You're in, out, done. One night stand, it's in, it's done, right? And unfortunately, if you're trying to build a business, business comes down to relationships. This is not healthy on building your business. This is good if you're really trying to go ahead and execute and make some money real quick on the side. But unfortunately, it just doesn't cut it if you're trying to build a business. And I'll share with you why. If you can't build a relationship with someone on a business level, what happens is then, okay, you just have that one-time transaction here and there. And there's a whole bunch of transactions. But initially, if you had, like, let's say 5 customers or 3 customers, every single one of those customers could be coming back, or you could be upselling them. You don't control the process on Fiverr. But normally, if you could, hey, they might be coming back. And sometimes people do come back because they remember the gigs and they understand that, hey, I have to go and buy through Fiverr because Fiverr wants you to keep them in the ecosystem. The way they make money is they take 20% off this cut. So if something's, let's say, $5, Fiverr takes a $1 cut, and they also take a $2 or so cut for if you're the buyer too. So they're making a whole bunch of money on both ends of the transaction. So in this case, really the advantage for you as, let's say, a buyer is you get to get something real quick, real cheap for not a lot of money. The downside, of course, is if you're the seller, if you're trying to make money on the side, build your business, freelance on it, is number one, you're competing with a ton of people, and now it's become really horrendous, and I'll share with you my stories here in a second. And number two, you're competing against kind of weird quality. So for example, here is a logo that was designed, but part of that logo was used. That's kind of the Evernote logo. So come on, think about it, guys. Also, it's not the same kind of approach that you would get at a professional studio. So if you look at a professional studio on a basic package, most people don't understand this, right? In a logo design, you want the original files. And the reason you want original files, you can scale them up as large as you want. You can embed them into things. Here, you get 300 DPI files resolution, and that's fine. But the problem is if you need to adjust that file just a little bit to tweak the font, to tweak the letters, to tweak maybe the edging or the designs of something, you don't have that original file. So this is really then becomes useless. You have to redesign your logo, and sometimes that costs even more money because now you got to do it twice. Now, they do have premium packages. Let's say this person has a premium package where you do get maybe, let's say, stationery and source files, and source files here because they want to upsell you. Here, there's no source files. So it is more expensive. And now when you get to that point, now you're starting to pay, a little bit more, $125, $65. So about half price what a normal logo. A normal logo around $250, $550, maybe even $900, depending on if you're doing mascots and stuff like that. But anyway, the thing is that you can still get something quick if you want with Fiverr. And if you're trying to make money on the side, it's really good for quick transactions. So I'll show you an example here of what I did here on something that I bought. Here's a sample. Basically got a little emoji for myself. Cost me about $10 on the gig, and then I paid $2 for the transaction cost. So if you were doing this exact thing and you could knock it out, and making about $8 for you is worth it, then in that case, you could make a little bit of money on the side. Now that, remember, when you ask for 10 on Fiverr, okay, you're only getting 8, plus you got to pay taxes on it. So at the end of the day, you might be making 6, right? Maybe even 5 if you're paying for tools and those kinds of things. Now I'll show you kind of a couple of other things regarding the Fiverr conversation. So if you're trying to get something, let's say done or original files, here's a little conversation I basically had with this person that said, hey, no, you can't really get the original files unless you pay me more. So they want to chat with it on the inbox. So with a normal studio, you know, you would actually get the original files and boom, they're not trying to constantly upsell you, nickel and dime you. In this case with Fiverr, that's typically what you're going to get. Now, if you're trying to make money on this, as a little tip, go ahead, give the source files, just do the best you can for the clients because they will come back, especially if you can brand your username to your company and business and also include free books, free PDFs that tie in to your website and business, then they know your website and business and they can reach back out to you. And also it saves you time because in this case, when I look at my emoji that was done, you know, now all of a sudden I need changes. If I had the original source files, well, hey, I would just change the shirt myself to a blue and maybe the eye color as well. But since they didn't want to give the source file, all of a sudden they have actually more work ahead of time. And now, okay, I requested more changes, shirt color, eye color, and those kinds of things. Now, if you're building a business though, remember, cheap prices doesn't always necessarily mean cheap quality. And I'll give you an example here with my gig stats. I've actually went ahead and posted things on Fiverr for sale under, again, a hidden profile to do some testing. Because a couple of years back, I helped out some of my friends to go ahead and launch some income on Fiverr to just get some things going. I had some friends in college. I had some people that were just in between jobs. A few years back, it was no problem. They went in, posted a gig. Within a couple of days, they got some sales. Nowadays, look at the amount of results here. When you search for logo design, oh my God, you have 60,000 results that you're competing against. So it's just as bad as Google or search engines because you can create multiple gigs for different things. So all of a sudden, you're competing in a big, big way. So in the past, my friends were making anywhere between $500 to $2,500 a month. That's just a general guideline. Of course, you could be making more if you worked more gigs, more services, that kind of thing. But typically, that's about roughly what they were doing from doing voiceovers and video testimonials and video editing. Now, I personally went ahead and posted my services on Fiverr. And if you don't know, I did graphic design for about 15 years. Then I got into investing. So I actually have another channel. I work a lot with investments, trading, stocks, and those kinds of things. So this is kind of a second channel for me. And when I look at posting some, you know, just general things that me and my team do, because my team still goes and creates ebooks, PDFs. By the way, check out 5starauthor.com. If you're interested in getting a PDF book designed by us or just a book cover or anything like that. But I went ahead and posted some things on Fiverr here. And you can see on my gig stats, basically, the gigs were not getting any traffic. And what happens is if they're not getting traffic, then they're not getting the sales. If they're not getting the sales, then Fiverr will go ahead and send you an email like this and saying, hey, are you still interested in doing work? And that was for like 90 days. I got one of these things every 30 days and I hit yes, I'm still interested for basically 2 or 3 times. And still, I didn't get one sale. Of course, you got to play with it. You got to promote your gigs. In that case, but why would I do that? What would be the point? Well, you could go ahead and do that if you didn't have your own platform, if you didn't have your own website. But remember, you're pricing yourself lower on Fiverr to compete against the other Fiverr gigs, and that makes it tough. Whereas instead, creating videos like this, working through my own business, marketing yourself as more professional, and giving extra value, here, I'll show you a payment slip right there, where basically this payment slip, we got a $250 customer for an ebook. That was basically the same gig that we were offering on Fiverr for $5. So I just want to share that with you to think about that for a minute, is that we were offering that gig to design an ebook cover. We don't offer it anymore. And I do it under a hidden profile to test things out or teach my team to working with clients. That basically, hey, that $5 gig, people pay $250 for, and sometimes even more for us to design their ebook covers. So we'll throw different deals on here and there, but it just gives you an idea and insight to really the world of Fiverr. So can you go ahead and make money on Fiverr on the side? Yes, you can, but you will be making less because of, number one, the competition. You will be making less also because of Fiverr taking the transaction commission on it because they're bringing you clients. And number two, you have a lot of clients you have to deal with, just nonstop asking you, nickeling, diming you, because that's the nature of Fiverr. It's cheap. If I was to approach Fiverr right now, I would do it a little different. Just to give you a few tips, this could be a whole video on its own, is include even more goodies and freebies beyond what you're giving your clients. So if you had, let's say, a logo design item, when you send your files here, when you send your files or your final files, include some PDF on how to use it with your logo on the bottom, and have a website ready to go. And this way, it goes ahead and promotes your personal company image, and people can come back to you then. So that way, when you stop selling on Fiverr, you can still build out some leads. Or maybe go ahead and have in that PDF ebook, click here to get our other book, or in those files. So just a way to try and get people off of Fiverr, so that way you can go ahead and build leads and customers. Otherwise, people keep coming back to you on Fiverr. That's okay, because you're still making some money here and there on the side, and that's not bad. But you don't want to just stick there because it's one stream of income. Fiverr goes down, you're done. You're not making money. So build multiple streams, multiple pillars, multiple levels. Remember, all the great business owners, investors, and people who are wealthy, they don't just have one stream of income. They have money from investments, from companies. They have money coming in from different sources. And that's really what you want. So, feel free to start with Fiverr. It's not a bad place to start. Make some money on the side, but look at how can you expand it further. Use it maybe as a teaching tool for your team, working with clients, that kind of thing, response time, how you fine tune your processes, and then go beyond it, continue to grow past it. All right, so thanks for joining with me. Be sure to sign up to our newsletter list at backstageincome.com so you get notified as new videos and training is coming out and other great courses, or hit the subscribe button on YouTube on my face, and that way you stay notified through YouTube. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.